6:30 a.m. in the morning at different polling stations up to now. Now, more of those details on the same conversation as Kenya continues to vote. Voters in Kenya have called upon for peace as the country goes to the polls. Now, according to some voters, our team in Kenya managed to talk to the saying peace is the only pillar that can give them good leadership and assurance of a bright future for their country.
Will we all be together and all Kenyans to have peace, and when the election comes, whoever wins will accept all of us.
The people are excited about this election because it is transitional. We are going to have a new presidential candidate either way, and so the people are excited to come and exercise their vote.
To remain calm and appreciate or acknowledge any outcome that comes thereafter.
It's quite smooth, very organized. I've seen IBC this time round have done a very good job.
Ngeitu wapige kula, hakuna shida yoyote huko ndani. Watu wakikuja wanapiga kula, hata hakuna hizo laini. Hiyo laini ni kidogo.
Now, in more details, still on the same conversation, and we're seeing more to do with Kenya. The voting process is so far reported as peaceful in Kenya, with long queues of voters who turned up so early to cast their ballots. Now, in this one, our reporter Dennis here gives a brief wrap of it in the different parts of Nairobi that he has managed to reach by this time.
Today, Kenyans decide on who is going to be their next president. At the Kenya High Commission here in Uganda, voting started as early as 6:30.
The process has been very smooth. It has taken me less than 5 minutes between coming into the polling station, verification of the documents, and finally casting the vote.
The names of all registered voters here in Uganda have been pinned on the wall just at the entrance of the commission, and any eligible voter who would come to participate in the exercise would look for their names, and once they identify the name, they are allowed to get into the commission, where there are 3 polling stations.
I cross-checked my name. It took quite a very short time. By the time I was entering the polling station, there were sufficient IEBC officials who were guiding us through, and it took me quite a very short time to complete the voting exercise.
Oh Lord, our next president, we expect a lot, because actually the current government has left a lot undone. So the incoming has a lot to do. First, the economy. Second, to keeping people together.
From all the 3 polling stations, the number of registered voters is 1,411.
I expect the registered voters to turn up. Due to 1, 2, 3, maybe somebody sick, but what I expect, the turnout is good, and I'm seeing the line is all moving.
The Kenya presidential race has attracted 4 candidates that include David Waihiga, George Wajakoya, Raila Odinga, and William Ruto. And who will be the next president until this exercise is complete? Then we can be sure who will lead the Kenyans. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News at the Kenya High Commission.
Well, thanks, Ivan, for that report. That had to do with the voting exercise at the Kenya High Commission in Uganda, which is ongoing as voters continue to come to the area to cast their vote, as Ivan was giving us those particular updates from the commission. Now, in the earlier update that was supposed to be having, that had to do with where Raila Odinga did vote. That is the voting process so far reported as peaceful in Kenya, with long queues of voters who turned up so early to cast their ballots. Now, in this one, our reporter Dennis Sigoa is giving us a brief wrap-up of how it is in the different parts of Nairobi that he has managed to reach at by this time, and that includes where Raila Odinga did cast his ballot. Let's take a look.
Here in Nairobi, and we're covering the general elections. Yes, it started very early in the morning. We are out as early as 6 a.m. to catch up with what is exactly happening. So far, I would say it's so good. Right now where I'm standing, we're in Kibera, a very popular place for many people. I'm so sure if you're in Uganda, Kibera is a very familiar name. Kibera is where the biggest slum, probably the biggest slum in Africa, is located, and this is the stronghold of the territory of the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and he has been around like a few hours, like an hour or 2 hours ago, where he cast his ballot. If you're to compare with the rest of the leading candidates, I would say presidential, William Ruto voted as early as 7 a.m. We do have Raila who voted at about 10 a.m. We had Martha Karua who voted at about 6:30 p.m. and Gachagua, who is a running mate of Ruto, who also voted very early. That was about 6:40 a.m. I will say it has been an amazing day for us to cover it. We've been to very many polling stations in different constituencies in Nairobi. Earlier on we were in Embakasi. Right now we are in Kibera. And this is what they call County 047. That is the code, the county code of Nairobi. So far, I can see it's a very peaceful election. Very few concerns, especially in the city. You can see people walk in within a few minutes. They are walking out, and they've already cast their ballot. As you've been following up since morning, as we started streaming the news about the general election in Kenya, you get to know that. The process looks to be very efficient compared to the previous years, that is 5 years ago and maybe 10 years ago, and the electorate are very excited. It's a very, I'll call it an epic battle, as everyone talks about it, and it's pitting the deputy president, the current deputy president William Ruto, and the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Where we are is a stronghold for Raila Odinga. The stronghold of William Ruto is Eldoret and of course much of the Rift Valley province, and that is where he expects to get at least over 70% of the votes. As well, Nairobi is is more of a complicated province, a province where there is also an expectation of it's too close to call, meaning that you can't stand out there and say and confidently thump your chest and claim that you're going to win Nairobi. That is how it is. But otherwise, it has been a peaceful process. If you look at deployment is not that much. Actually, I interacted with military officers earlier on, and I found him not carrying a gun or maybe a stick. He had his hands in the pocket, and I asked him, boss, expecting you to have probably a gun or something like that. He's like, no, here we're trying to, actually our work here is to just direct people to the exact places where they're supposed to the places where they're supposed to cast their ballot. If you talk about the turn up, you can see the pictures on your own, the videos we have been sending since morning, and the photos that are on social media. That is the UBC social media handles, that is the Facebook, Instagram, as well as WhatsApp. You can realize that the numbers are really amazing, and the IEBC has been praised for conducting such an organized election. But then this is just the beginning of the entire process. What will come later after this is what matters most, and that is exactly what I'll call the counting process, the tallying process. The ballot boxes were open as early as 6 a.m. and the first people to cast their ballots were 6 a.m. and then most of the people have voted, and they're not around the polling stations. They have gone home or gone to do other businesses, are waiting for the process of tallying, which probably might, of course, definitely will start later on tonight. And from what we've heard that the IBC might be having, of course, it's expected to declare the results in the next few hours. That is what Kenyans are expecting. But then, if it's not happening, if it doesn't come out very fast, they still have about 10 days or so for them to tally, get the results, and declare them. And then the celebrations will definitely begin for the winning teams, and the other side. Maybe it will be, I won't call it the morning, but then they'll definitely have to think and wonder what happened. But generally, it's a very good feeling. Nairobi is peaceful, the streets are empty. If we've been driving around, very few cars, and very few cars, and that explains it. That people have stepped out there, willing, committed for change, committed to exercise their democratic rights. I'm sure they don't want to be part of the team that will be there complaining yet about maybe a leader whom they didn't at all participate in electing. So we definitely Thank you for this opportunity. We'll keep you posted on what is transpiring in Kenya as far as the general election is concerned.
Well, that's our very own Dennis Segowa reporting from Nairobi, and he has given us a very great wrap-up. Thank you so much, Dennis. And more of that particular conversation and the ongoing election process, we shall be giving it to you later in our newscasts later on in the day. Now, to move on in other updates for the day, this lovely Tuesday, we're seeing Prime Minister Robin Anabanja, who was challenged the people of Bunyoro to complement prayers with work by embracing in various government programs like Parish Development, Moldol, and Operation Wealth Creation to have what to offer to God and sustain their families. This was contained in a speech read for her by State Minister for Works Fred Byamukama at the celebrations to mark 50 years of St. James Church of Uganda, Chigumba in Tiriandongo district.
While addressing Christians during celebrations to mark 50 years of St. James Church, Uganda in Kiriandongo district, Byamukama, who was the chief guest, also launched the fundraising drive for constructing a new church where the Prime Minister donated 10 million Uganda shillings and Byamukama also donated 2 million Uganda shillings.
1972, the church has been expanding, and now the church which they had built, people cannot fit in. So they are doing the groundbreaking of the construction of the new church.
Ellen Max Kihunde, the woman MP Kiriandongo district, donated 100 bags of cement and 1 million Uganda shillings towards the construction of the new church. The Bishop Masindi Kitara Diocese, George William Kasangachi, challenged the believers to always embrace work. The believers appreciated the Prime Minister and other people who contributed towards the construction of the new church. Over 50 million Uganda shillings was raised in cash and pledges.
Well, for now, we do settle for a very short break. When I return, more updates that are standing out for this particular day. Stay with UBC.
Vimba! Ni MTN Kabode Super as you pay mpola for this smartphone. Make calls, update your WhatsApp status, watch YouTube, and Google anything under the sun with 2 GB worth of data every month for 7 months. Simply make a small deposit of 99k and pay the balance mpola. You can pay in daily, weekly, or even monthly installments while you enjoy your new phone. So what are you doing today? Visit any MTN shop near you and get the MTN Kabode Super easy.
I remember the lockdown, when the streets were empty and our lives disrupted, when businesses closed and our livelihoods hung in the balance. Hospitals were full, loved ones, jobs and hope. Our children couldn't study anymore. We cannot let this happen again. We should not go back. Get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 and join the millions of Ugandans who are already vaccinated.
Enjoy more GBs for the same price on Airtel. Shareable using to Gabane. We have increased GBs across all your favorite packs. Now, 4 GB is at 10,000 shillings and 10.5 GB at 22,500 shillings, all valid for a week. For the heavy data users, enjoy 24 GB at 50,000 shillings and 50 GB at 100,000 shillings, all valid for a month. Dial *175# or use the My Airtel app to buy these and more affordable weekly and monthly data bundles on Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasona, well, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't
remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Don't fear. Refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Get connected today with the My Airtel 4G smartphone and enjoy free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 Uganda shillings. That's free 2 GB for the first month and free 1 GB for the next 11 months at only 250,000 Uganda shillings with free data for 1 whole year worth 86,500 shillings, making the effective price of the 4G phone 163,500 shillings only. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Princess! Is there a problem? Honey, relax. There'll be no more worries about SMSs, phone calls, sijui data, because daddy has got an Airtel smart plan. There is even Airtel TV. It means no worries.
Enjoy life worry-free with Airtel Smart Plans. Shareable among 5 people. Use every day and pay.
Ugandan National Cultural Center namukekera inaso park na MTN bakutusako webinulie mbale tusungude mumbale SS Grounds dokumina setu Augusto line up yaba stars wele nomuli alipe kuimbe rusukuru seminti pia pounds profit mtuyo garuka sita Mickey Wine Brand Ways Green Daddy Rachel Ray that's the day kaziwe kapo Friends Sejewa Friends Sebata baimbi mbale bona endongo ya live bandi lukoba kulukoba fireworks wakunyoka kwalwa emiyanje gula usawa sadezo kumacha abakozi bavu Muzunga, Uganda Police, ya kuongeza security, Bitindwa Musente, Hema Water, UNNC, UBC, Namakungulu Rural Industrial Park, Beaulaga, Nibitekewa, Sama Vulu Baramo, the Nick Promotions and Tuchekova.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Coming to you live from Broadcast House. Now, more updates that are standing out for this particular day, the 9th of August 2022. We're seeing hundreds of NRM supporters. They're convening at Obutete Primary Playground, ready to receive the NRM party chairperson, who is also the president of Uganda. That is His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. He will be in the district to campaign for the party flag bearer in the Gogonyo County parliamentary by-election. The president will address to campaign meetings in Gogonyo County.
This campaign trail for the party candidate who happens to be Derek Oroni. We have carried out a marathon campaign which has lasted now. Today will be the 5th day, and voters and NRM party particularly is very assured that come Thursday they will be securing victory. Earlier on, we did interact with the party chairperson for Eastern Region, Captain Mike Mukula, who also gives us an insight on what this visit means and what particularly the party is aiming at.
The National Resistance Movement is a very powerful party. It's a mass organization, it's a mass and revolutionary party. The significance of the president coming to Gogonyo is quite substantial. It's quite big in that the president is going to pass the message of unity. The message of unity, which is very profound and key in consolidating the NRM manifesto. In this area, for example, we have the PDM, the Parish Development Model, which we just unpacked recently in the budget statement that was made by the President, read by the Minister of Finance. There is a very major component in empowering and giving the people at the lower level household incomes, in that we are going to give them per parish or per ward. In the urban centers, it's called a ward, 100 million shillings per annum, which will benefit the women, the youth, and other organizations. And each home is expected to get approximately 1 million shillings per household. This is a fundamental change. The president's visit here will also be able to anchor and send a message to the population that if they elect a member of parliament, of course, Gogonyo and Palisa is overwhelmingly NRM, they will benefit a lot by having somebody who can work closely with the party and closely with the president. Yesterday and last night, I was with the president in State House in Entebbe, where we were able to receive the NOP flag bearer, NOP FDC flag bearer for Gogonyo. He's now joined NRM fully, and this morning he was able to submit his credentials, his documents to the returning officer, withdrawing himself from the elections. Well, this is a major statement. We are now left with the two, and we think that if we work together, even the other one, Taligola, may opt to join us, because we want to play as a party. He is a member of the National Resistance Movement and is a card of the party. So I want to say that we have this opportunity in this by-election to be able to augment and drive the party forward and entrench it in Gogonyo. I want therefore to say what you see behind me there is a solid support, a grassroots support of the people towards the party, which we think will be able to further deepen the strength of the party in Gogonyo.
Well, the NRM Vice Chairperson Eastern Region, Captain Michael Mukula, wraps it all as he has assured voters of this region and district, particularly Palisa district, that the president's visit is not only about campaign, but it is an assurance that the NRM government is ready to serve this area. I'm Robert Onyango, still here in Palisa district.
So much, Robert Onyango is still camping right there to give us those particular come through. Now, more into our business for the day, we're seeing the agriculture extension workers in Kanungu district. They have been urged to set up demonstration gardens for communities to learn new farming methods. This was during hands-on district leaders' chairperson's engagement with agriculture extension workers at Abuanja Mixed Farm in Kanungu district.
Leading from the front is the new development strategy for Kanungu district's agriculture sector.
Every agriculture worker, I expect him going forward to give an account of at least 4 farmers every parish. And these farmers that he is going to visit and formulate a demo will help our people in the parish development model, pillar number 5 of mindset change.
Agriculture extension officers are some of the district staff that are being asked to lead the way by setting up demonstration farms for communities to learn from.
These extension workers, to modulate at every sub-county a model which we can pick from for our community and the poor people that are going to benefit from the PDM to come and see these demos and manage to transform or translate something that can fit on their own land that they hold.
Kanungu district chairperson Sam Kajojo says idle land at sub-counties should be used by extension workers to set up demo gardens. He was visiting Buanja Mixed Farm in Kanungu with his extension staff.
Where do you want people to change their mindset from? The people have to see with their eyes and believe in the story you are telling them. Most of these extension workers, they have reached here. We have been with them in the farm after running through some fields.
The farm has piggery, ducks, cows, chicken and fish ponds, among others. Kajojo says extension workers will be accountable for area farmers in respect of the 5th pillar of the parish development model, the mindset change.
We are still depending on the agriculture of rain. It got rain fed. Yet the environment is changing completely. We have a lot of prolonged drought, and therefore we should be going to irrigation. That will be the way forward.
The agriculture officer, Tumwesi Jalosius, however, says irrigation is the way to go. However, prolonged dry spells and other natural hazards have become destructive due to environmental degradation.
It is very clear. How should 2-3 people destroy the wetland, which is the source of water for all of us, and people keep on looking? So we are talking to authorities everywhere. The president is very clear. People should leave the wetlands.
He, however, says thieves steal both crops and livestock from people's farms that have hindered agriculture production in most communities.
Because we are fearing the thieves. So this one, if we have bylaws and the security organizers come in, then we shall stop.
Now straight into our sports updates. The 2022 KFVC, that is NSSF International Volleyball Tournament, came to a climax over the weekend with Rwanda's APR emerging winners of both the women and men's titles. APR defeated Ugandan clubs KCCA and KFVC in the men and women's categories to a 3-2 win. The tournament was started as a platform to showcase volleyball talent in the region, and though this year's tournament came after a 2-year break due to the COVID-19 pandemic, it attracted 26 volleyball clubs from Burundi, South Sudan, Rwanda and Uganda. The 24th edition of the KFVC NSSF International Volleyball Tournament was played in a 3-day contest at the Lugogo Indoor Stadium and hockey grounds.
Have also our that's a very big show. And then we had also 3 teams from South Sudan. So those foreign teams, when they managed to make it, then on top of that we have also our local teams who all honored our invitation. And that makes the turn-up really big according to our anticipation. More than 80% of the turn-up is achieved. So it's a very good score that we have made this year. It's a very good expedition. The level of competition has been good. There were so many surprises that people have experienced.
One of those sports that were kind of neglected. Everybody sponsors football, sponsors boxing, basketball. But volleyball, not too many people were paid attention to it. And yet, it's a sport that anybody can play, a child can play, an old person can play. So we thought we wanted to get in there so that we can actually provide that as an avenue for young people basically to find a route out of it.
Now more of sports for you. After 12 days of action, the Commonwealth Games were finally closed. And some dominant players were shown in the course of the Games while other countries made history. Some exceptional performances were not to go unnoticed as countries such as Australia swept majority of the honours with a total of 178 medals, including 67 gold medals, 57 silver and 54 bronze medals, while hosts England were only able to come in second with a total of 176 medals. This year's Games also saw extension of history by some countries, such as Uganda, who continued their historic dominance in the 10,000 meters, following yet another win by Jacob Kiplimo, and its first ever female boxing medal at the Games by Nachimoli Teddy. With this year's Games finally wrapped up, the Federation revealed that the state of Victoria in Australia